Good morning from Yummy BTV. Wishing you all well, sending plenty of love your way on another brand new start to the week. Sorry about the rotation. There's still a problem with me doing the camera the other way around. I still haven't worked it out yet. I'll have to get some professional help. Sending loads of love to you all as usual. Now, the early morning topic, answering the questions, the stigma attached to people that have played a part of some kind to serious criminal cases, child killers, lady killers, cases that are really high profile and in the public eye, so to speak, and do those stigmas that are attached to those people that didn't actually do the murder themselves, but played some kind of part in it. Do they ever recover from it? Does it last a lifetime? I'll give you a few examples. The first one we're going to talk about, and this one came up the other day. I think they had a coroner's court thing the other day for Dean Kelly, who was meant to have got rid of certain bits of clothing or played an active part with the sad murder of RYS Jones. We know that Mr. Mercer got convicted of the murder himself, but apparently Dean Kelly didn't actually play a part in that, unless you lot know a bit more than me, but got a sentence of some kind for trying to cover up the crime. Now, it's fair to say that he died very young in Scotland. The coroner's thing the other day said that it was to do with a heart coronary with a mixture of drugs in it. It would seem that he wouldn't have felt that safe in Liverpool ever since that crime, tragic crime, took place. So his life is changed forever for the part that he played in that very seriously tragic case of RYS Jones. So maybe moving around, carrying on with his old ways. I find it a little bit suspicious, his death, to be honest. You can never know with things like that, whether people, whether you turned into a drug dealer of some kind and you're working areas in different places and people find out who you are, and the stigma attached to you participating in, that kind of murder of a young person is often very unforgivable. And whether you have committed the murder or not by playing an active part and covering it up, you might as well have been labelled with the murder itself, especially if you're in prison terms. There was a guy that I once knew called Huggy. He was the co-defendant to Smitherman, right? The trans that I've done a video on him before. He dresses up in women's clothes and comes on normal location and can look after himself, but in my view was a raving lunatic, right? So the case, sad case, tragic case, I think her name was April, a girl, and they buried her body and that kind of thing. But it would have seemed that Huggy, was scared of Smitherman and went along with his actions, but didn't want him. But the whole time that who really didn't, so it appeared that he didn't really want to do the murder, or whether he regretted it, or he was coerced into being there around about the time. For his whole time in prison, do you know that he used to wake up every morning and walk up and down the land and saying, look, it wasn't, I didn't know that, he was just trying to explain himself for the whole 20 odd years. So it was bothering him that much with the stigma being surrounded by somebody that had committed such heinous acts. He didn't really want his name attached to it, and maybe it was genuine that his part in that was as small as what he said. But at the same reasoning, prisoners still looked at him like, well, you was there, it was despicable and that kind of stuff. So his name forevermore will be attached to Smitherman's actions, whether he meant it or not. So, the future can never ever be bright for people that commit or participate in any kind of way to such serious crimes. Now, Dean Kelly, it seems like his life would have changed forever. It's probably a sad end for him, the way that he died. But again, his name, you can never get out of such a crime as like with RYS Jones, the Bulger case, whatever part small or big, you can't really ever get out of it. Because it's there for the whole world to see that somehow or another your name's attached to it. And my belief is, through all my experiences, is that you can never ever get over the stigma of all that kind of stuff going around in your soul and your head. Right now, the one that you was asking me about this morning, Maxine Carr, right, for the sad case of the horrible scumbag Huntley, where she comes out in the open and tries to find an alibi for him and that kind of stuff. She's had to have a change of identity now. She's probably out somewhere. But the way that she did it was, you know, how best to describe Maxine Carr. We could say that she loved him so much, Ian Huntley, that she felt the need to protect him. But hold on 1 minute. There's no protection, love or not, to be finding a way out for somebody that could, you know, that has killed children. So you're doing that with the knowledge of it. Many people say her thinking skills are in doubt. She's short of, you know, she's easily manipulated and blah, 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 but you got to know that bit. And her life could never, ever, ever be the same, ever, ever again. And for whatever her state of mind is, and all the things that I've just spoken about, for her to be, you know, finding a way out for a man who's done something like that her whole life. Yeah, she gets a new identity, but there'll still be the worry of people finding out who she is, because that kind of thing is really unforgiving. I mean, we've got to be honest about it. So you heard with the Cashman case in recent times, other cases where people harbour people that are on the run for such crimes as well, where children are being killed and things. It's no good telling them that you felt coerced and pressured, that when he came round the house, that, you know, you didn't feel like he was a bit scared and blah, 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 blah. The first thing you've got to do is, I'm telling you lot, this is what I would do, when you're taking on such roles and mantles of harbouring criminals that have committed such crime, you're playing an active part as well. So you will go to prison and your name will be forever attached with what they have done, whether you were there or not. You see what I mean? Because all you do is Google things and names are going to pop up. And again, a couple of those will have to live with whether they did it intentionally, whether they didn't. The public are often unforgiving, even if you play a minor part, even if you were aware or you wasn't, if you get what I mean now. Another big example that ruined probably his career was Michael Barrymore, the young boy's body found in the swimming pool due to one reason or another being there. But his life, it will never be the same. He never got charged, did he? He never got convicted. He never went to prison, Michael Barrymore. But forever and a day, the attachment to that death at his house in that pool will be a stigma that he's had to live with. He's come up and given his verdict on, you know, that how his personal, what he really believes, and, you know, about as honest as he can sound, or not honest, if you get what I mean. He's given his bit about what happened, and it still hasn't done anything to him. So you know that it can destroy careers and that kind of stuff. Again, the stigma for all the other things that went on in Michael Barrymore's life, forever and a day, his name is attached to that incident at his house in the swimming pool. Do you ever recover from such things? No, you don't, because you can't move forward, because it's simply because we, the public, and people around the area will always be suspicious, whether you did or you didn't, or you let it happen. And those are the kind of things that go on and whatever and whatever. And inside your own head, you're done and dusted, if you get what I mean. I went a bit off track there at the end, but who cares? But in reality, the stigma around certain things is there with you forever. Be interesting to see if you remember any other cases where people that didn't actually do the murders participated in some way, and their lives can never ever be the same again.